I am a king with nothing. No castle, no walls, and no army. From building my very first house, to fending off dragons, battling ogres, and getting dragged into pointless wars, every step of the way seems to be a fight for survival. Today I played 100% of Kingdoms and Castles, Episode 1. That's right, we are so back. The Kingdom of Vetur was born. It began on a large fertile island, rich with trees and overflowing with stone. Unfortunately though, iron was scarce. Right next to the iron node, there happened to be a little witch hut. Let's hope that she doesn't give us any trouble later on. After exploring the untamed island, I decided to place down the keep right in between all of the stone. In my mind, this was the ideal spot to place down the heart of Vetur. It provided us with natural protection, as well as a whole bunch of resources. Your first hamlet, the humble beginnings of a magnificent kingdom. That was the first of 12 achievements that I was going to have to unlock to 100% the game. Well, there we have it, the heart of our civilization, the keep. Once it was constructed, 5 loyal followers who believed the cause moved in. Jason, with no last name apparently, Calypso, Brett, Azur, and Robert. There we go, that's a bit more fitting. With the keep being fully set up now, I could finally expand to other things, like building a road in what's going to be the center of our great town. There goes almost all my wood. Let's get cutting. I wanted to be very particular in what trees I was cutting down. If I end up cutting down too many near the keep, I won't be able to replant them later on with the forester. Hence, me being picky. I then decided to place down a house. It really wasn't fair that we had 5 citizens, yet no beds. They really couldn't sleep anywhere. That should take care of things, and maybe we'll get some extra citizens from the extra house. I was definitely going to build a stone quarry soon. This inspired me to build a road out to the nearest stone node. So we have housing, we're gonna have stone. Now we just need a food source. Apples are the way to go, especially since you get quite a lot of them, and it only takes 3 workers to run the farm. Perfect timing. The house is just finished as we started constructing the apple farm. Geez, we are burning through wood like crazy. This once again made me very selectively choose what trees could be cut down. Oh yeah, and I started construction on a stone quarry. It's pretty satisfying to see all of my villagers working hard. Everyone's doing their part to make this thing possible. I wonder how long it takes for these apple trees to grow. Hey look, Robert's an apple tree farmer now. Even though it looked like the trees were growing, we still didn't have a steady source of food. This was a little bit concerning, so I placed down 2 wheat fields, and then a forester because we still didn't have a constant supply of wood. In the village's job priority list, I noticed that we had stone mining as a very top priority. This should not be the case. We definitely need food before stone. You'd think that would be a no-brainer, honestly. I built another house and then placed down a well. All of the basic needs of our citizens were about to be fulfilled. Food, water, housing. Also, if anything catches on fire, we'll now be prepared. I wanted to expand to the north, so I placed down roads on both sides of the keep heading that direction. After placing down another house, reassigning some job priorities, and checking out a nearby pond, I placed down another apple orchard. That was when we spotted a giant red dragon approaching our little village. That is an intimidating growl, I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely a good thing we got the well up and running, because if that thing attacks, we have some water to put out the flames. I for some reason decided that it was a good time to destroy a home and replace it with the road while that beast was flying around. Don't even ask. Luckily, the dragon seemed to be preoccupied at a different island. That was when I started consulting my advisors. Maybe they'll give some good advice for running this little village. Let's go ahead and bring in some more villagers. At this point, I had no idea what was going on with this dragon. It had been flying around our islands for over a full year. That's an insanely long time. Oh, what do we have here? Arrows. I think we found another civilization. Your first village. Starting to get the hang of this governing thing. Awesome. Real quick, if you're enjoying the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more. If you want to get more involved in the Vortide community, check out the Discord linked down below. Our little village of Vortira was now recognized as a small village officially. I have no clue who's actually recognizing us as it, but hey, we're recognized. After all of that excitement, I then placed down a charcoal maker. These guys pretty much just take the wood that we have in our stockpile and turn it into charcoal. That way, we can heat the houses during winter. Let's see, is there anything else that I could build right now? Town Square's not a bad idea. I'm gonna place you right there. That makes the most sense, as it's right in front of the keep, and everybody will be able to have easy access to this thing. Winter transitioned into spring, and the town square just finished constructing. That's pretty sick. The banner of Vortira happened to be displayed right in the center of the town square. It was pretty epic looking if I do say so myself. Let's make this look a little bit nicer. And the finishing touch, perfect. All of the houses are connected to a road and it's functional. I couldn't really figure out what else to put right next to the town hall, so I ended up placing down 2 wheat fields. I also could finally afford a treasure room, which I ended up placing down right across from our keep, on the right side. Now we'll be able to tax our villagers and get some income for our small village. Since we now had a building to hold our coins, I figured it would make sense to have buildings holding our food. It's only fair, right? Plus 200 food storage, let's go. Wow, look how scenic our village is during the winter, and during the summer too. It was time to expand one of our roads downward. Why was it time? I have no clue, but I wanted to build some more houses soon, so we'll use that as our excuse. Oh yeah, and I started laying out some of our gates and walls, for protection of course. Let's get one on this side as well, and then wall off this top area a bit. The walls were coming along splendidly. One issue though, we were burning through wood like crazy, so I decided to place another forester to the north. I then built a house, survived a rainstorm, and placed down a few more walls. I didn't have a single tax collector employed, so I decided to move the job up in the job priority list, hoping that we would be able to get some soon. Surely no one will complain about a 10% tax, right? Actually, let's do 20%. 10% honestly wasn't gonna get us any coins. And look, the villagers aren't even that unhappy. We're heading towards 62 happiness, which isn't bad. Uh-oh, how did that happen? Shouldn't that technically go out since it's raining? I guess thankfully we have a well right there. The village was currently living off apples and wheat. This made me decide that I wanted to place down a fishing hut. That's kind of weird that I can't place one down in the pond. Maybe there's no fish in there. It really seemed like we weren't producing any charcoal at all, even though I had a charcoal maker. So I destroyed it, and replaced it with a large charcoal maker. You guys already know, we gotta wall this area off, just to make sure it's protected, you know? I also threw down some walls on the bottom right side of the village. We're actually starting to take the shape of a castle now. Nice. We really were starting to look more and more like a castle, especially after adding these new walls. Let's see. I'll go ahead and place down a road there and there. I made the executive decision to destroy 3 of the small houses and replace them with a giant manor. These things unfortunately cost gold, and I wasn't able to scrape up enough until now. I will for sure need a small market now, since we built a manor. So I ended up building one. These things basically provide the nearby houses with charcoal and food. Well, what do we have here? Diplomat and route. It looks like we're about to meet the civilization that was fighting off the dragon a few years ago. Now here's the question, what side are they going to land on? We're kind of in the middle of the island, so I thought that they would land on the left side as it was closest to my gate. But interestingly enough, they went to the most southern part of Vortira. They definitely made this journey a lot longer than it needed to be, but hey, they're not my diplomats. They finally made it over to the keep, and I was able to talk to their ruler, King Pont Chardon. Ah, you're from a neighboring kingdom. A peaceful kingdom, we hope. Indeed, we should have much to talk about. That's definitely the right response. Yes, we look forward to working with you. That concludes our ruler's message. Thanks. Interesting. I don't know if I really like that guy, but he reminds me of an old friend for some reason. Why did our happiness just drop? It looks like we're going to be building a tavern. Minus 10 happiness is quite a bit. Let's go ahead and place that down right there, near all of these houses. Each home that's in the radius of this tavern has its happiness increased. This made me pretty content with my choice of location. As the tavern was constructing, I placed down some more roads. I then received word that another diplomat was en route. Well, it looks like we have another civilization directly to the north. Since they're coming from such a small island, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that this ruler is friendly, just because they don't have a lot of land and are probably gonna need to trade a lot. While I was awaiting the diplomat, I built a road and then started constructing a tower right behind the keep. Wow, this guy cannot sail any slower. The diplomat finally arrived. It only took you a year. Queen Manasta. I almost read that as monster. We have a message from our ruler. Yes, go on. I come from a strong kingdom and I like to keep things pleasant. So don't mess with us and we won't mess with you. Agreed, let's keep the peace. Good, glad we're in agreement. Maybe these guys aren't so peaceful after all. 175 out of 190 apples. And that's the only food that we actually have. Hopefully these wheat fields change that a bit, especially since the more variety in food you have, the happier your people become. It's a little bit ironic that I'm saying that though, because I just destroyed some wheat fields and placed down a road on top of them. Don't worry though, we'll make it up with this tree farm, and now these wheat fields. After I improved our food situation, I destroyed 2 homes and replaced them with 1 manor. Well, who do we have here? Another visitor. Queen Korban. We have a message from our ruler. Yes, go on. Oh, hello, nice to meet you. You have a lovely kingdom. I hope our 2 kingdoms can be friends. Indeed, we should have much to talk about. We look forward to working with you. That concludes our message. Thank you. I'm not gonna lie, Queen Korban seems to be my favorite so far. She doesn't seem weird or aggressive. I'm pretty excited, since we now know all 3 of our neighbors. One of them seems kinda mean, one of them seems really nice, and the other seems kind of in between. I started thinking about it, and it was a little bit weird that all 3 of the other kingdoms had boats, and we didn't yet. This made me decide we were going to build a dock. Sure, that doesn't mean boat, but it's a start. Alright, first we need a road, and then we can place the actual dock at the very end of it. And of course we can't afford one. Oh, talk about perfect timing, okay. Boom, there we have it. Our very own dock that we can launch ships off of. Let's get this thing built. Weirdly enough, it looked like our gold was not increasing. I ended up checking the job priority list and saw that our tax collecting positions were not filled. Let's go ahead and switch those. Well, would you look at that? Another diplomat from Pont Chardon was heading over. That name sounds so much more like a village than it does a king's name. Let's just hope his diplomats didn't hear me say that. They arrived at my doorstep with a new message. We have a message from our ruler. Yes, go on. Could you clear a nearby wolf den for us? No, I'm afraid you'll have to handle that yourself. Well, thanks anyways. That concludes our message. What is this guy thinking? I don't even have any soldiers. How am I going to clear a wolf den for him? I think I'm going to have to fortify the walls. He didn't take too kindly to that message. With certainty, I can say that the dock finished building. I knew that without even looking because a merchant ship arrived and they only come when you have a dock. Let's see, what can I buy and what can I sell? Honestly, nothing good. While I was distracted with the merchant ship, Queen Manasta had sent over another diplomat. There is nothing like slow roasted meat. Perfectly seasoned. Pork is my favorite and the favorite of our people. Sounds yummy, our people love that too. Tell me, what is the favorite food of your kingdom? I'm gonna go ahead and say pork, even though we really don't have any. Queen Monasta doesn't need to know that though. As her diplomats were leaving my village, they went out a small crack that I had not walled off yet. That reminded me I needed to wall it off. Afterwards, I decided to further inspect the job priority list. We had 25 builders assigned to building things, so I lowered it down to 10 because we didn't need that many. Wow, another diplomat already? Maybe it's a good idea to get up a clinic, because we have no idea what kind of diseases all of these diplomats are bringing over. There we go, perfect. Queen Korban's diplomats arrived, but apparently so did Vikings. It looked like these guys were sailing in from the northwest and the southeast. It looked like we had around 3 ships near our island. I couldn't really tell if they were trying to land on it or if they were just sailing by. Hopefully the latter. I'll give it to them, their ships look pretty awesome and intimidating. Thankfully enough, it looked like we were in the clear, so I decided that I could finally talk to Queen Korban. So beautiful, so blue, I wish I could fly. I heard a man who made wings out of vulture feathers. Alright, this is just too much. I'm gonna skip through and tell her what she wants, I guess. That's exactly what I ended up doing, and then her diplomats were on their way. After that long, tiring conversation, I noticed one unit of Vikings did make it onto our island. They docked in the top left corner and had no resistance. I was really expecting my keep to take care of things because it had a very far range, but they ended up being smarter than that and stayed right outside of the range of my archers. I started panicking and tried placing down an archer tower right where the Vikings were heading towards. Wait, what? They can swim? I honestly didn't expect them to be able to go through there. Hey, that's my gold! The archer tower I was constructing sadly didn't finish in time, and the archers on my keep just couldn't reach the Vikings. Unfortunately, they got away with all 80 of my gold. There was nothing that I could do. Well, there goes all of my money. I think we learned 2 things from that. Vikings can swim, and I need better defenses. The rest of the year was pretty peaceful, so far. I guess things are only uphill after a Viking invasion. Let's see, I can fit another manor right there. Oh, more diplomats. You know what, I'm just gonna call you King Pont from now on. Let's see what you want. I've been prepared since birth to take over this kingdom. I inherited the throne and have been ruling for some years, but I still feel unready. Why is that? I feel like I'm just playing a role, and at any day the peasants will catch on, and realize in the end, I'm just a person like they are. We must rise to the role we're given. But I really don't know if I'm doing everything right. I worry I'm constantly messing things up. All we can do is our best. You're right, I'll just do the best I can. That concludes the message. Nice, that seemed to go well. After my conversation with King Pont, I sold some charcoal at the merchant ship that arrived. I then proceeded to destroy 2 houses and replace it with a manor. I need a chamber of war to be able to build any of the unit training buildings. So I'll go ahead and just place one right here. Wow, the range on this ballista is insane. It covers almost the whole village. Oh gosh, Queen Monasta, what does she want? It's time we discuss the terms of this relationship. I'm going to be requesting gold from time to time as tribute. Make sure you have enough on hand when I ask. No, I don't think so. I think you'll change your mind. That concludes our message. Well, that was rude. If she thinks she's going to be getting any gold, she's incorrect. I will definitely have to wall off this little area now. This time for real, because I can tell things are not going to go well with her. Oh no, it's a dragon! Thankfully, it seemed like the dragon wasn't interested at all in our village. This allowed me to keep placing down more piers, which I was able to build walls on top of. Looks like Queen Korban's already returning. Despite her being such a yapper, she seems like the best one out of my 3 neighbors. My happiness was pretty low again because the people wanted a library. So I placed one down right before I talked to Queen Korban. Time to see what today's message is. She basically said that the Vikings caused a lot of damage in their last raid, and asked me if I could send over some troops. I told her no, because we don't even have any yet. Merchant time. Let's see, can I sell any charcoal? 20 apples will have to do. My recent conversation with Queen Korban inspired me to build an archery range. We needed to have some troops that I could move around the castle and send out to defend if need be. A manor would be a lot more fitting right here, and we get a lot of extra beds from it. Well, well, King Pont, welcome back. We have a message from our ruler. As always, the Vikings caused some damage in the last raid, and we built many archer towers to fight them off. You might consider doing the same. We wish you luck in the next Viking raid. Well, that was actually kind of nice of him, and it was decent advice. Oh, it looks like my ballistas weren't being fully operational. That definitely needs to go at the top, and disabled for now. We're definitely producing enough stone to get away from all of the wooden structures now. I'm gonna make it my goal to get that done before year 45. What happened next made me realize that this was a great goal. One of the gatehouses that was wooden caught on fire. It started spreading to all of the walls nearby. Well, this is great. Come on, why is nobody putting it out? Oh, it looks like we actually don't have a well close to that side of the castle. The fire did a decent amount of damage, and it was finally put out during the winter. That was a little bit of a setback, but hey, it's not the end of the world. Oh gosh, it looks like Queen Monster's back. We have a message from our ruler. The Vikings caused some damage last raid and we built some archers. This is the same message from King Pont. Maybe I shouldn't actually call her Queen Monster. She was trying to be nice. Well, anyways, I then placed down a mason, which repairs any buildings or structures that get damaged. I'm definitely gonna need one of those, especially if we go to war. Also, it's about time that we get some iron. I started placing roads all the way to the east side of our island, avoiding the forest that was in the way. That should do it. We just need to cut down a couple trees and we can now make it over to the iron node. Why is our happiness at 46? I guess I have to lower the taxes a little bit. Your first town, 100 souls look up to you for leadership. That's pretty impressive. We reached 100 citizens in 40 years? Not bad at all. Queen Korban, to what do I owe the pleasure? Let's see. My favorite niece started brewing beer recently. She's very talented at it already. Really? Wow. Her latest recipe is quite something. It would mean the world to me if you drank it. We got a couple of beers here that we'll give for free. Honestly, I don't see why not. Free beer is free beer. Well, would you look at that? The merchant's already back. Time to make some gold. Let's see. Where's the charcoal? I can sell 36 of it. And what can I buy? Let's see. Wait, is that a Viking unit? I really didn't notice until they were basically at my doorstep, but a Viking invasion was going on. To the archer towers, men! I'm thinking that the merchant probably arrived exactly when the invasion was happening, and that's why we got no notice. Thankfully, we're only dealing with one unit. How hard could they be to take out? No, don't set that on fire. I didn't mention annoying, did I? Weirdly enough, the Vikings weren't interested in loot. They basically just set one of my castle walls on fire and then ran away. A hit and run. At least they won't be able to do it again now, with these new stone walls. Alright, well that was interesting. Let's get back to prioritizing the iron over here. We don't have any yet. I placed down an iron mine right at the end of the road I was building. Now we just need to find someone to work the mine. While we're waiting for some workers, I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade these roads to be stone. Better roads means faster workers, and faster workers means more product. This area is not even being utilized. I guess we did just complete the walls around it. There we go. Speaking of filling some unutilized land, I placed down a blacksmith which makes armors and tools right next to our only tavern. I then made sure that the iron mine's coming along. What do we have here? A gift? Looks like some kind of present. Now's honestly the perfect time for one. It's a rainy day. We have a message from King Pont. Greetings. We prepared a gift. Thank you. Well, that was the shortest interaction we've had. Wow, that was honestly unexpected. Thanks, King Pont. I just realized, if we're going to be training some archers, I'm definitely going to need staircases onto the walls. Otherwise, they're going to have to shoot over them. There was a lot going on all at once. I was placing a home outside of the walls, a merchant arrived, and a diplomat was en route. I ended up buying some armaments from the merchant because I wanted to train some archers soon. It also looked like we were offered a special item. Beautiful tapestries. Why not, I guess? I'm starting to think that wasn't worth 150 gold. Alright, let's see what Queen Monasta wants. It's time to pay me tribute. I meant Queen Monster. I need 40 coins from you. No, not yet. Disappointing, you better have it next time. I don't even know where she got this impression from that I was gonna be giving her gold coins. I'd say it's about time we expand our ballista tower and build another one. You can never have too many ballistas, at least in my opinion. After getting down the second ballista, I started training our very first archer unit. They were training hard in the field of the archery. And they're ready. You guys will be remembered in all of Vetur history as the bravest soldiers to live, as they were the first to rise to the occasion. I then did some remodeling with our walls, received a gift from Queen Korban, and told the blacksmith to only make tools. We already had one archer unit, we definitely don't need any more now, right? Well, if we do, I'll just put down another ballista to make up for it. It looks like we're about to hear from King Pont. Would you be willing to open up your docks to trade? Sure. We have to discuss prices, though. That looks fine. Now let's see what his prices are. I guess we'll take it. I mean, not much to negotiate. I'm starting to think that King Pont isn't so bad. He's starting to grow on me. We weren't able to house any new citizens because we ran out of beds. So I started expanding more outside of the walls. That little home just got replaced to a big manor. Well, would you look at that? And a dragon's on the way. That's just great. Hey, I can see our city from here. I felt bad that there was just one lonely manor sitting outside of the walls all by itself. So I placed down another one right next to it. And then I removed one of the many rocks that were sitting inside of our town walls. These things gotta go. Would you be willing to open your docks to trade with our merchant ships? No. It was weird because Queen Monster was being mean, and then she was being nice, and then she was being mean again, and then being nice. So this time, I didn't even accept her trying to be nice. Right after that conversation though, I built another archer tower. You know, for precautions. Oh yeah, and I upgraded my last wooden gate, which I completely forgot was wooden until that point. We're about to be rolling in the dough. I sold 50 charcoal for 150 gold coins. And then Vikings invaded. Let's hope these guys aren't heading towards us. Oh, someone already landed. I'm definitely gonna need these. Now hurry up and build them. You know, we might have been a little bit too late on building those archer towers. There's no way they complete by the time these guys get to the gate. Thank God for the ballistas, though. I forgot about those. Aw, come on, man. Not the manor. Are these guys doing a hit and run too, just like the last Vikings? I guess we'll find out. Or maybe my ballistas got him this time. It was indeed a hit and run. But will they get away? You have got to be kidding me. At least they didn't do any significant damage. And I forgot about my archer unit, didn't I? Queen Korban's diplomat was patiently waiting at this point, so we talked and made a trade deal. It appears that we have a plethora of stone. Not for long, though. These walls are expensive to build. With the health of our citizens being my #1 priority, I placed down a swineherd in the top right corner of our castle, the space that wasn't getting utilized. Afterwards, King Pont sent over a diplomat to tell me to build archer towers to fight off the Vikings. I was just kinda nice, and told him I was going to, even though we already had a whole bunch of archer towers. Unfortunately, being in a world that was filled with Vikings and dragons meant that we were gonna have to deal with some of our people passing away. So I built a graveyard in the back left corner of the castle. I then had to place down a second tavern because people were complaining that there weren't enough of them. I guess drinking must be important to the people of Vetur, apparently. Uh-oh, Queen Monster's on her way over. Good thing I built another archer unit. These guys are marching over very proudly. Let's see what she wants. It's time to pay tribute to me. I need this much from you. 110 gold? Sorry to break it to you, but never. How dare you treat me this way? Such disrespect. This is war. Uh-oh. I'm not gonna lie, I saw that coming from a mile away. Alright guys, keep watch. Let me know if you see anything. It looks like she really wasn't kidding about war. One catapult was on its way over directly to our island. We still have yet to unlock catapults and boats at this point. This seems like it's going to be a little bit of an unfair war. Oh, I didn't even realize it, but there's also an archer unit on that boat. Now a diplomat too, actually. The troops of the monster landed on our great island of Vetur. I had my archers on the complete wrong side of the castle, so I repositioned them. Hopefully this archer tower can hold out. Oh wow, it took out that entire archer unit. Now we just need to focus the catapult. Yo, that was easy. Maybe the monster isn't as prepared for war as she thought she was. After some time passed, it looked like round 2 began. 2 swordsman units and 1 archer unit. What is my archer doing? Get back here. Stand your ground. And focus that archer. Nice. And that's a wrap of round 2. Just in case though, I'm going to move my archers off that little wall. Let's go. Uh-oh. It looks like I had 2 casualties at least. I'm surprised Queen Corbon's sending over a diplomat in the middle of a war zone. We have a message from our ruler. We have plague outbreaks now and then. Our doctors work as fast as they can to stop the plague. Paid by me, the state, so everyone can get care. I don't know what to say to that. You should let the plague kill the weak. Oh, she did not like that. Honestly, that's kind of weird that she sent over some diplomats and she was talking about a plague. Good thing I got a clinic up and running. Jeez, those guys came out of nowhere. Uh-oh, it looks like the ballistas can't hit the catapult this time. We're chilling though. Nice. Oh, thought that was another catapult. Just a rock though. I ended up defeating another catapult of queen monsters, and then one of my taverns caught on fire randomly. I think it was lightning, but who knows. The merchant's here. Looks like I'm able to sell 72 charcoal this time. That's pretty big. 216 gold's nothing to laugh at. What does King Pont want? Oh, I don't know if you saw those arrows in Ballista's shop, but that was crazy. We had come to discuss some happier matters. But unfortunately during a trip someone got sick, and I'm afraid she's not gonna make it. Is it okay if she could stay here with you? Yes, she's welcome. I hope she recovers soon. Oh, that was probably a bad decision. It looks like a plague started in our town now. 2 peasants have already died from it. Despite the plague going around, I had to keep the town running as usual. Let's see, which one of these needs to be removed first? I guess it doesn't really matter. They all have to go at one point. More troops from the monster! Oh wait, it's just 1 swordsman unit. I honestly don't know what she was thinking about just sending over 1 unit, but who knows? I guess free experience for my troops? They didn't even stand a chance. While trying to decipher Queen Monster's thinking of sending over only 1 unit, I started upgrading the roads in our town. That way I can move troops through them a lot quicker, and also we'll be producing things even faster. Oh, interesting. Queen Monster sent over some diplomats and another swordsman unit. Let's see what she wants. I demand you surrender and pay us 449 as a punishment. Will you pay up? No, the fighting will continue. I don't even have 449 gold coins. Alright, well see ya. I guess the war continues. And a Viking invasion. Uh-oh. No way. Dragons too? I need to get up some more defenses. I'm not gonna lie. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Oh, no way. We took out the dragon. Dragons are no match for your might. That's a cool achievement, and we now have a lot of food. Holy, where did all of these Vikings just come from? Oh, another achievement. Ogres cannot match the strength of your kingdom. We just slayed our very first ogre, and it's not going to be long until our second and third. Well, assuming they don't slay us first. I think we'll be okay though. That's our second, and here comes our third. Oh, and a fourth. It's pretty epic to see all of the trees getting destroyed in the path of each ogre. You know they're here for business. We only had one more ogre to deal with, and I had 3 ballistas ready to take him out. After 2 ballista bolts and a few archer arrows, the ogre collapsed as he wasn't able to handle anymore. Queen Korban's back. Let's see what she wants. We're in need of some resources. We'd like to build an archer school. Could you help us out? Of course, it'll be our pleasure. And she's explaining how to do a gift, which I already know how to. Alrighty, so I guess we now have an excuse to build a transport boat, which will be our very first boat. Before building one though, I got a little bit distracted with placing down a woodcutter, talking to King Pont about building some more archer towers, and placing down a mason. Oh yeah, and I removed one of the random caves in our castle. I then almost upgraded every single road we had to stone. Let me tell you, this was not cheap to do, at all. At this point, I was on a roll. I even ended up upgrading my 2 small stone cutters into 1 large one. 15 citizens to work that thing is insane. My continuous improvement halted as I just placed down a blacksmith and one of Queen Monster's diplomats arrived on my doorstep. I see you fought off our last attack, but I demand you surrender and pay 313 gold as punishment for this war. Why would I pay? You started the war. No, fighting will continue, obviously. You will regret this. Yeah, I'm sure I will. I've fought off every single unit she's thrown at us. I felt that it was finally time to utilize the little body of water in the middle of our island. This made me place down a Noria right on top of it. We now had access to unlimited water. It finished constructing, so I threw down a reservoir and then an aqueduct leading to it. I also noticed that we only had 4 food for our entire city. This was concerning, so I immediately started placing down a whole bunch of apple orchards. I was pretty disappointed in myself, because our amount of food was steadily declining, and I didn't even realize it. Weirdly enough though, Queen Korban came by and started talking about food. I couldn't tell if she was making fun of us because we didn't have any, or if it truly was a coincidence. Wow, our happiness has really fallen quite a bit. It's currently at 40, trending down to 38. That's not ideal. Hey look, we finally built our own merchant ship. Yeah, I probably should have built a transport ship first, because I needed to get that gift over to Queen Korban, but this just seemed like it would be more beneficial for all of us. In addition to the 3 that I already built, I cleared out some more space for more apple orchards. 17 Viking ships then decided to plague the lands. Alright, we got 1 unit on our island already. This should be easy. Oh wow, that was quick. It's not looking good for King Pont over there though. That's a lot of boats. And he has a whole bunch of troops chasing after them. And he's sending me a gift. Alright, he's fine. Let's see, what goodies do we get today? Wow, that's actually a lot. I'm impressed. He honestly couldn't have sent one at a better time, especially with the food shortage going on. Speaking of food, I placed down a butcher right next to both swineherds. Apparently, this building type's able to process and store meat a lot more efficiently. Uh-oh, another dragon's attacking. It looks like he's heading straight for Queen Monster's island though, so we're chillin'. Well, at least for now. I then placed down 2 windmills and a whole bunch of wheat fields around them. We now should be doing good on food, since I have a large source of apples, a decent amount of pork, and a decent amount of wheat. At this point, every structure I was building was pretty much outside of the castle walls. What's all of that noise? Uh-oh. We got a whole invasion going on here. And my 2 archers can hopefully take these guys out. I'm gonna focus in on this archer unit, as I should. They can take out our troops without having to be behind the walls. Now I just need to get all of these swordsmen taken care of. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie, things are not looking good. Hopefully this guy will be taken out in a second. He's eating arrows though like crazy. There we go. Let's move on to the next one. Uh-oh. There goes the wall. Maybe it could be repaired before they get in. I don't think that's gonna happen. We're almost done with all of the swordsmen. And it looks like reinforcements arrived. 3 catapults is insane. And my ballistas can't even reach them. Oh, wait. Yeah, they can. No way. I literally didn't have any of my defenses being manned. I guess that explains why this battle isn't going so well. Focus the archers, guys. Come on. Nice. Oh no, they're inside the castle now. We are taking heavy losses on this invasion, but I think we're starting to regain control. There we go. Okay, we're good for now. That was probably Queen Monster's best invasion. She actually caused destruction for once. Ah, Queen Korban sent over a gift. I wonder if this is her way of supporting us in the war efforts. Maybe she's sending over some gifts to the monster as well, though. We don't know. I doubt it. She's the one who started this war. My main priority shifted to rebuilding as much of the castle as I could and expanding the walls on the east side. It seems like Queen Monster only ever attacked from the east. This year's Viking invasion was honestly pathetic. They only sent over 1 unit, which was honestly a good thing after having to rebuild half the castle. Ah, a diplomat from King Pont. Let's see what he wants. Could you send us more resources from your merchant ship? Sure, which one? We need more iron. We look forward to more shipments. That concludes the message. Well, honestly, I don't even have a lot of iron myself. So we'll see how that goes. Oh no, dragon sighted. Oh wait, this time there's 2 of them. And one of them's coming straight for our castle. Oh wait, maybe he's just flying by. Well, I guess he's not anymore. That's right, come get all of the meat. We'll have dragon meat set for the next year or 2 now. I wonder what dragon tastes like, honestly. Most of our archers were taken out in the last battle. I'm gonna go ahead and train at least another unit so we have 3, minimum. Queen Monster strikes again. This time though, it's one of her regular weak attacks. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe this was just the beginning of a larger wave. Looks like we got another 2 units coming. Nothing I can't handle though. Oh. Okay, never mind. Wait, what? How did they get through the walls? Okay. And they're on our walls with us now. That's not good. No, all my units are taken out. I guess it's up to the ballistas and archer towers now. Maybe I could quickly train some archer units, but I don't know if that's actually gonna work. Sweet. It looks like we have a little bit of a break. I need to repair these walls before they come back though. It wasn't long until Queen Monster sent over more troops. Thankfully though, not at full force. 1 archer unit and 1 catapult isn't too bad, honestly. Okay, to beef up our defenses, I'm gonna go ahead and put down an archer tower there. And would you look at that? More enemies. I think Queen Monster exerted most of her resources in that huge wave she sent over a few years ago. At least I get a little bit of peace of mind knowing that we're not going to have to fight off a huge invasion, at least for another couple years. Hey, the merchant ship finally came back around. I was able to sell 55 charcoal for 165 gold. Not bad. Queen Korban then came around and asked if I could send over more fish on our merchant ships. Naturally, I said yes, but we don't even have a merchant ship going over to her. Once I finished chatting with her, I noticed that I could sell another 40 charcoal to the same merchant ship at our dock. I'm not going to question how that worked, but I'll take the extra gold. King Pont sent over some diplomats, but this time with a very interesting offer. He asked me if I could send over some troops to help with the next Viking invasion. I told him yes, and then he brought up an alliance, which I happily agreed to. Whoa, we can see his whole settlement now. Yo, he is very developed. How did he already fill up his whole island with stuff? We still have a long way to go at the island of Vetur. It was pretty inspiring to see King Pon's island completely decked out. I wanted to do the same thing with Vetur, but we were definitely going to need a lot more resources for that. These Vikings are so annoying. I should honestly start walling this part of the island off as well, since we have a lot of structures here. At this point, I was pretty happy with our progress. We completed around half of the game, 6 out of 12 achievements, and we were just approaching year 100. That's not bad if you ask me. What is bad though, is that a dragon's approaching. Uh-oh.